Hello and welcome back to another Ninja Woodfire cooking video. Ordinarily you're joining me once I've done all the prep and the setup, but we did have a spot of rain which meant that I had to put the table away, and I thought that'd be a good opportunity just to quickly go over the Ninja table. So this is the table with the extendable height. There are 3 settings and you just press this metal button in and it finds the different height settings. I found that the low setting was really low, so I assume that's for some sort of tabletop cooking. I have it on the mid setting, as you can probably see, and if you want to collapse the legs without too much effort, then you can press those in and they will collapse down to the join that I'm pointing out there. So that reduces the storage space quite considerably. If you want to put it away for longer periods, then an Allen key comes with the unit and you can undo these 3 screws and the legs will completely detach. So the material itself looks like it's some sort of coated metal, which should in theory weather quite well. The top of the table and the side table are composite plastic, but probably better not to leave it out in all kinds of conditions, especially in the UK. So I'm just going to turn this over whilst filming, made to look very easy. I've done this a few times, and we're going to try and find the flattest area that we can, and then as you can see there, we've got a cutaway in the middle of the table, presumably for ventilation, and also useful to run your power cable through. You've got hooks on both sides of the table to hang 6 different utensils, and the side table can go on either side, so for those lefties out there, you're covered as well, and you can just clip it on, which I realised I didn't make very obvious there. So if we just have a look at the side table, it's got little arches that hook over those hooks, and you can just pop it on, which is fine if you're not putting too much weight on there. It makes for easy collapsibility or storage, and I'm not really putting any great amount of weight on there, so I'm quite happy that that's what works best for me. What you can do, if you want more stability, there are screws underneath that again come with, and that means that you can put up to 20 kilograms on the side table. I would assume that is when you've already got the grill on the table as a counterbalance, otherwise that might come tumbling off. Apparently they're making an appearance because he knows that the barbecue's coming out. So yeah, pretty good table. Then we also have over here the storage bag. So this is a non-branded bag. I think the branded thing that you can purchase is the barbecue cover to leave it outside rather than a carry bag. So the carry bag is good for me for portability and moving it around. I did a brief review on it if you care to check that one out if you have interest. So it's got sturdy carry handles. It's got a zip pocket in the front to add extra grills or grill plates. So through the magic of editing, we have the unit on the table and ready to go. We're plugged in. We've got the grill plate that came with the unit, which is the ridge one, and we got the crisper basket that also came with the unit, which might give a little clue as to what we're going to be cooking today. And this follows on from the video that I made yesterday. So it's going to be jacket potatoes. So we've done a little bit of prep with those jacket potatoes. We have put them in the microwave for 15 minutes to start them cooking on the inside, and we're then going to use the Ninja to crisp them up. So nothing in the pallet, no pellets in the smoker, because I don't think we need to smoke jacket potatoes, even for me. Although I do love a barbecue, there'll be enough flavour left over from the last cook. So we're going to use the roast feature. That's a preset of 15 minutes at 220, which is nice and efficient to cook our jacket potatoes. With other barbecue methods, I know there's a few different things that people do. So some people cover them in tin foil so they can put them in a coal barbecue so that the skin doesn't burn too much, but they get cooked. Some people pre-cook the potatoes, as I've done here, just to get them going before they start roasting them or roast them. And then some people prick the potatoes with a knife just to get them cooked a little bit quicker, which is what I've done here. Other people say don't do that. So I think each to their own, as long as it's delicious once it's done. You can see I pressed the start button. We are not going through an ignition process because we're not using the smoker. So that's going to take around about 5 minutes. You could skip this because you're not looking to sear anything, but the cook times are on the assumption that the grill is up to temperature. So for the sake of 5 minutes, I do wait through for the preheat function to happen. That gives me a little bit of time just to talk about the cleaning of the grill. So I know I've mentioned this in other videos. It would be difficult to film cleaning the unit, and I'm not sure whether it would be that interesting. So I'll just talk through quickly is that I would, with a little bit of disinfectant spray, just clean up all the outside surfaces, particularly those we're going to touch, like the carry handles and the lid handle, or the dials, all those kinds of things. And inside of the unit, then anything around the edge of the grill or the seals on the top of the unit. The actual lid will probably look quite dirty on videos because that's where all the smoke's going. It's not in direct contact with the food, and I don't think there's anything hygiene related that would benefit from. All it's going to do is retain some smoke and potentially a little bit of flavour. So even though we're not using the smoker function, as the unit heats up, there'll be a little bit of that then goes through the unit as we're cooking, which is all flavour. And those lovely rays of sunshine in the background would seem to agree that this is an approved cooking method. So we're going to go through the preheat function. It should take about 5 minutes. Whilst we wait for that, if you haven't had a chance to check out the other videos on the channel, then if you could have a look through there, hopefully there's something of interest. If you can, then please subscribe, and that just really helps me out. I've also got some comments on there which I always read, always respond to, just to listen to feedback, and hopefully any helpful tips that I receive I pass on also. The tension of waiting for the add food. We must be nearly there. There we go, and right on cue. I need to add food, which is exactly what we'll do. So lid up, and we'll grab our potatoes. So we have 6 good sized potatoes. I have washed my hands, and that hopefully gives a little bit of an indication as to the size of the crisper basket. So you can get 6 good sized potatoes in there. I could put a drizzle of oil over them and a bit of seasoning, but I want to keep cleaning down to a minimum. because once I've stopped filming, I of course eat the food, but I also have a bit of a clean down process so that the unit's ready for the next one. So the least amount of cleaning, the better. So with this one, we're not going to have any caramelized sauces or anything like that. But of course we do just want to give things a quick clean just to sanitize them, which would be the crisper basket in this case. It's also just a little tip, it's quite easy to forget about the runoff tray at the back of the unit. So as I've probably mentioned in other videos, it doesn't seem that there's a lot of runoff. So it's kind of, I was a bit confused at first because there used to be an era of George Foreman grills where one of the selling points was how much stuff had come out of your food that shouldn't be in your body, and you'd end up with a tray overflowing with congealed mess, which doesn't seem to happen here. But I'm not, I don't think that's, it's because it's an unhealthier method of cooking. I think if anything it's more efficient. So it's almost, particularly with chicken, I'd liken it to rotisserie, in that the food's kind of cooking in its own juices and keeping it moist. That might not be the case with jacket potatoes, but we want a fluffy interior. So the reason I mentioned a flat surface earlier in the video is to allow that runoff tray to do its work. So the grill is angled and it's got a ridge at the back of it. If it's not on a flat surface, it can tend to pull up on the side. Right, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Okay, hopefully you liked my artistic transition there. Bit of time lapse because I had a little brainwave that I'd try something new. For those of you that are familiar with the channel and the videos, you'll know that it's unlike me to be quiet. So no, I didn't stand there for the entire time perfectly still and quiet. I left it on a little tripod just to try something a little bit new. So if you could add into the comments whether that's something that works or not, or whether you'd prefer a little bit of music in real time, then that would be greatly appreciated. So on the timer you can see that we have got down almost to our 5 minutes left mark. Our potatoes are taking on a nice bit of colour. The crispy bit is going to be at the bottom where it's been in contact with the crisper basket. So I just had a little very chef-like tap there just to check where it's up to with the cook. And then what I will do is I'll just turn these over so that we can get them crisping on the other side. So they still feel quite solid to the touch. It's all very professional this, and who would have thought that they'd be hot? It's literally a hot potato, and I was surprised to get a little bit burnt by turning them over with my hands, which I have again washed just in case. I don't want people to think that I'm handling people's food after not sanitising. So they're taking on a nice colour. They've not cooked quite as quickly as I thought they would, and they've not crisped up quite as much as I thought, but we still do have 5 minutes left on our cook. So I think turning them over to give the other side of the skin a bit of a chance to crisp up is a good thing. I was tempted again just to put a drizzle of oil on there and a good kind of bit of salt just to encourage that. And then I thought, well, actually, again, this is about ease. We don't want too much cleaning, and we're going to be adding flavour to the potatoes in terms of some pulled pork, which we'd already cooked and I uploaded as a previous video. So we'll leave that for 5 minutes and then we'll see how we're looking. Okay, we're now on the last leg of the cook. So as you can see, I've opened up one of the potatoes to see how well it was cooking, and it wasn't quite there. So as you can see, the skin is quite crispy. It is kind of fluffy inside, but still a bit solid. So what we need to do is just finish these off. And to do that, I thought what would be useful is to actually use the air fry function, because that is going to be a high temperature and a quick cook time. Just to finish those potatoes off, and I saw in the comment section that actually that's something that people do with things like chicken as well. Anything that you want to give that final blast to crisp up, then the air fry function is really useful for that. And we've already used the basket for most of the cook, so it's not like we're putting it in specifically for that purpose. So I hope you enjoyed the second interlude where I put a bit of music over the top of it in real time. If you could let me know which of those you prefer, then it just gives me some guidance on what people want to see. And with that, our cooking will be finished soon, and I'd like to thank you for watching the videos, particularly if you made it all the way to the end, and I will see you soon in another Ninja Woodfire cooking video. Thanks again.